Afternoon, VC. Harris here. It's been a while. It's been about 4 months. It's been so long. Well, I've tried to get back into the VC, and the bloke on the security desk wouldn't let me in. I had to end up showing him my Vinyls Community UK Division lanyard to he wouldn't have it. He wouldn't have it. What a king muppet that bloke is. But we're back. I'm back in. He's let me through. Lovely. And in the last 4 months, I've been sent loads of VCLT by Stevie's Vinyl Cupboard, John 6-inch, Mark Mad for Vinyl, JT's Record Room, Paddy, the Waterside Deck Wrecker. And so I want to do a video with all that, but I want to get it all together so I can do sort of one video. But everyone's been so kind. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And so I've cut my record buying down. Quite busy, a little side thing going on. It's all good. But I've kind of concentrating on just like a few people are on the VC. I think just going for really not just churning stuff, because there's no joy in that, is there? And so I have cut my record buying down a lot, but I've been going a bit Grails. First example, upstairs at the Marlins in Southampton, he had a copy of first UK press of the Damned's first album, which I've always wanted. I love the Damned. In the last 4 or 5 years, I've become a bit obsessed by the Damned. Machine Gun Etiquette in particular, which I know Henry Rollins is also obsessed by. But yeah, Machine Gun Etiquette. But Strawberries is amazing as well. I love the album Strawberries. I love the Black Album. I don't even mind the second album, which the Pink Floyd bloke produced. But I've never had this. And I was thinking, because I've been playing it loads, it's a Porky Prime cut, I believe, as well, which is always a good sign. And I used to walk past the studio where this was recorded, which was the worst looking build. It was like a garage. It literally was someone's garage. But I think it was called Pathway or Partway. And I was thinking the first time by 1991, I was into all American underground-y stuff: Black Flag, Meat Puppets, Minutemen, Saccharine Trust, Angst, you name it. I'd never heard at that point in 91 anything by the Damned or the Sex Pistols, and the first time I heard a song off this album was when we went to see Mudhoney in 1991 at the Astoria. I think it was July, August, and they did a cover of Stab Your Back, which I love. I love that. Stab Your Back. And that was the first time I'd ever heard a song off this record. This is pre-internet. I couldn't just dial it up on a phone or anything, and I don't think there were many Damned albums kicking around, and you know, it's crazy. But yeah, so thrilled to get this. First pressing. The Damned, it's all good, it's great. Maybe the best of that first run. I don't know, Buzzcocks. I never think of the Buzzcocks as punk for some reason, but so thrilled to get this. The Damned, original UK press. It's in pretty decent condition. Maybe a VG sleeve, VG plus vinyl. All kind of solid though. Yeah, love this. By the way, the guy who does the record store upstairs at the Marlins has taken over Boohoo Records in Northam. And I suspect there's some bargains to be done. So get yourself down Northam Road. It's just before you get to St Mary's Stadium, the chapel, the theatre of mediocrity. But yeah, check out Boohoo because it's still up and running. Next up, this was the Record Fair in Southampton. This is fantastic. 12-inch, Massive Attack, Karma Coma EP. This was off Massive Attack's second album. It's probably my favourite track off that album. It sounds like Karma Coma, the album version, sounds a bit like if Tom Waits had been raised in Bristol drinking Red Stripe and smoking a bit of skunk and listening to dub reggae. When they brought it out, and this was the joy of the UK during the dance years of 1990s, they brought it out on a remix. This is called the Portishead Experience. I've got to say, this is the best remix I've ever heard. And I'm not a big trip-hop fan, if I'm honest. I always think trip-hop's, you know, it needs a bit more oomph behind it, and it needs some better bass lines. Portishead, this was in 1995. Portishead absolutely tear this up. They whack on the bass line from Serge Gainsbourg's La Melody Nelson. I can't remember if it's that track. Maybe the last track off that Melody Nelson album, which I really want. Came out the day I was born, that album, by the way. They absolutely tear it up. They stick the Serge Gainsbourg bass line on. They do some great dub echo effects with the vocals. It's wonderful, this. This is the best remix I've ever heard. The Karma Coma Portishead Experience. I recommend you get on YouTube and listen to it because it is it's the greatest hip-hop song of all time in its remix form. But absolutely wonderful. And it goes for a few bob this now as well. It's like a £15 EP, this. It's absolutely wonderful. The other tracks I can take or leave, but this is marvellous. So, we are now in serious Grail territory. I haven't got many vinyl Grails left. Very few. Very few. Maybe in terms of albums, about 10. About 10. And this has always been top of my list. And I'm on Vinyl O Vintage, which is just around the corner from me, about a mile away. And I'm on their Discogs, and it showed up. And it said Vinyl Condition VG, so I'm like a little bit scared. It's Scott 4, the original UK press. You see very few of these, and it's maybe in my top 10 albums of all time. And they had it on for an okay price, a pretty decent price actually. Now Scott Walker was huge in England in the 60s. Scott 1, Scott 2 and Scott 3 all went top 3 in the album charts in England, and the Walker brothers were huge. In America, I suspect Scott Walker wasn't well known at all. In England, he was massive. Scott 4 came out, so he's already had 3 top 3 albums, and bombed. Didn't sell a carrot. Phillips actually deleted it after 4 weeks, I think, which is so weird because it's his most approachable album. It's his greatest album, in my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinion. Why did it bomb after so much success? Well, apparently he released it under his own name, which is I think Scott Egbert or Herbert or something. I can't see why that would matter because he's not put his name on the album anyway. So I just don't get. It's one of vinyl music's biggest mysteries. But this is the OP. Now they said it was VG. I played it in the shop. They got quite a decent system there, and it sounded great. They cleaned it again. They were pretty wonderful. The guy that surfed down there, an Australian lad, I think all from New Zealand, he was really great. He gave it another clean. It sounds fantastic, and it's one of those albums. I love it. It was a bit of an influence on Britpop. Songs like The Universal by Blur. Jarvis Cocker's a huge Scott Walker fan. He is a bit of a curate's egg. You either love him or hate this album. A lot of people say, it sounds a bit like Andy Williams. Well, okay. He does have a classic crooner voice. There are shades of Andy Williams and, Sinatra. But the music is just wonderful. It's the opening track, which is... what is the opening track on this? The Seventh Seal. Is basically inspired by Ingmar Bergman's film, The Seventh Seal, where the guy plays chess against God. And which is also used in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, where they also play chess against God. Bill and Ted beat him, and God says best of 3. So then they play him at Hungry Hungry Hippos, beat him again, and God says best of 5, and then they play him at Operation. You've got the funny bone, beat him again. So I think that's fun. But the Seventh Seal is wonderful. It sounds like Ennio Morricone with orchestral. The next 2 songs actually are a bit middle of the road, but from there on, Angel of Ashes is just wonderful. Boy Child might be the greatest song of the 60s. It's just incredible. Side 2 is a bit of a different beast. It's got Hero of the War, which has kind of got a Bo Diddley beat, or as my mum would call it, Little Willie and the hand jive beat. And then it's just fantastic. The Old Man's Back Again, which has got kind of like a funk bass line. He must have been really into his French pop because it's got that dum 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 bass line. Oh, and then Duchess is wonderful. Slide guitar, and then it ends with Rhymes of Goodbye, which is like a waltz time. I love this album. You very rarely see it. When you do see it, the album's beat to crap. The cover, and I'm just so thrilled to get a copy of Scott 4 at a price I could afford. And you rarely see this damn thing anywhere. And the fact it was sitting around the corner was incredible to me. But yeah, wonderful stuff. Scott 4. Thank you, Vinyl O Vintage, by the way. Next up, big into my rave. I was a rave monster in '91. It was all swallowing the contents of my glue stick and reaching for the lasers. And I found this at the record fair, and I was so thrilled to find this. Rachel Wallace, 12-inch of Tell Me Why. This may be one of the ultimate 1991 rave tunes. This is absolute keyboard keyboard madness. There's you can almost hear the beginnings of jungle approaching here, but really hard to find this 12-inch. Tell Me Why by Rachel Wallace. I remember hearing it on dance floors back in the day, and I loved it the minute I heard it. And it is a bit of a mental one, I will say. It is one for the cheesy quavers. It does go off a bit if the DJ still drops this nowadays. But yeah, Tell Me Why by Rachel Wallace. And it's on suburban bass, which is always a sign of quality. So, I haven't been doing a lot of Taxi Driver FM recently. I love a bit of Taxi Driver FM. Basically, tunes that are essentially crap, which always sound fantastic in a taxi at 2 a.m. when you're feeling a bit emotional. And you've been out for the night. You've been out to your favourite club, La Ponderosa's. The club that never sleeps. Last orders at 12. And it's all gone well. It's gone fantastic. You've had a great night for a change. And you're going to your kebab. It's 2 a.m. now. You're going to your favourite kebab shop. Yeah, abracadabra. Yeah, off you go. And you're in there. You've ordered. Yeah. Hey, boss. You want chili sauce? Yeah, I'll have chili sauce, mate. You want salad? Do I want salad? Do I look like a socialist, mate? No, I don't want any salad. Thank you. You get your kebab. You're back in the taxi. You open your kebab. Oh, he's put salad on it. Oh, no. Oh, and not only has he put chili sauce, he's put that yogurt sauce on it. The whole night's gone to shit, mate. I'll have you, butler. And then on the radio, Peter Cetera's Glory of Love comes on. I am the man who will fight for your... It sounds like the greatest thing in the world, yeah. Peter Cetera's Glory of Love, yeah. Soundtrack to Karate Kid 2. Maybe the worst sequel ever? Is that, or is that Godfather 3? Or was that Sister Act 4? I don't know. The habit continues. But it certainly started... But yeah, the Glory of Love, Peter Cetera. What a beaut. It just hits the spot during those moments of kebab-related despair. But wonderful stuff. Southampton Record Fair. I mean, we're talking serious Grails. Serious Grails. Orange Juice, Ostrich Churchyard. I didn't even know this came out. I remember buying this in 92. I don't know why I remember buying this in 92. I bought it on CD. And this is from Clive at the record store. Everyone in the UK knows Clive. And he gave me a killer price on this. I bought it on CD in 92. I think it was like the week after Nirvana played Reading, which I missed, even though I had tickets for. And I always remember, I don't know why, I always remember that. But yeah, Ostrich Church, Orange Juice were basically the band who invented the sound of 80s UK indie, which was jangly guitars, being inspired by the Velvet Underground, the band Love, Buffalo Springfield and Chic, and a bit of Beach Boys. That was basically what all those early sort of UK indie bands were trying to get to. And Orange Juice kind of codified that with their amazing first album, which is You Can't Hide Your Love Forever, which I'm a big fan of. I believe Rob Walker's a big fan of as well, and I've got a battered vinyl copy up there, which is one of my pride and joy. This was what was intended to be the first album when they were on Postcard Records. So this is the slightly lo-fi version of it with a few extra tracks, including the amazing Subway Sect Holiday Hymn, which they cover to amazing effect. It sounds like a Northern Soul song when they do it. But so this is what their first album was meant to be before they got signed by, was it Polydor? And it they really chinched it up when they got signed, which I still love. They added horns and sort of girly vocals, which I still think worked. But yeah, this has got Louise, Three Cheers for Our Side, Satellite City. Almost impossible to find this on vinyl. But yeah, love it, incredible, and sounds great. And wonderful stuff. And got a few tracks that weren't on the debut. Intuition Told Me, but a different version. And as I say, Holiday Hymn, Texas Fever. I'm just so thrilled to find this. And I say, Clive did me a killer price on this. Killer. So I was just so chuffed with this. Vinilo Vintage. Not only are they coming through with the Scott Walker, but they've come through with the singles recently. No, this one was from Oxfam. These are from Oxfam. This was from Oxfam Charity Shop, which was Ben Folds 5 7-inch single. We can be happy underground. Ding, 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 ding. I'm pretty cheesed to find it. I love this song. And I had it on the 7-inch. I'd never see that. So we'll take that. Vinilo Vintage did a half-price deal on the greatest pop-punk song ever, Nasty Nasty by 999. It probably invented Green Day. Let's not hate them for that. This is incredible, isn't it? Nasty Nasty. I first ever heard this on Mark Radcliffe's Out on Blue 6 in about 91. I think this is from 78, and it's 77, 79. Incredible track. Still sounds incredible. Sounds phenomenal on a 7-inch. Absolutely rips out of the speakers. And yeah, amazing stuff. Nasty Nasty by 999. It's up there with Boredom by the Buzzcocks, and it's just incredible. Love it. 12-inch. Went to Brighton, and I bought this on the 12. Love Song by The Cure. I hate this album. that it came off. Really one-paced. Everyone loves it, don't they, that Cure album? I don't like it, but this was a huge hit in America. But this is the weird thing about America and UK once the 90s kick in. This got to number 2 in America, but finding it on vinyl, mission impossible. Probably because it's probably on CD or radio play. In England, you had to sell product, and we were still buying vinyl. This ain't that hard to find on vinyl, although it's still, a sort of a £9-10 record. But yeah, this was my favourite track off that album, and it's got that dum 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 intro. Sounds great. So yeah, really thrilled to find it. And Fear of Ghosts, Latent Fear and Ghosts on the B, so pretty decent. And that's your lot. So thanks for sticking in there. Hopefully I'll be back very shortly with a VCLT video. Stay safe, everyone. I'm going to write an angry letter to the VCLT boss about security, and see you all soon.